she was left, like she was nothing on the side of the freeway. I hope that man rots in hell.
Well, he was once a Metro gang unit public enemy #1. That prolific gang member is about to stand trial for aggravated murder.
Terrence Voss, who was the focus of multiple 2 News investigations spanning almost 3 years, is charged now with the death of his girlfriend, Shandon Scott. It is a case that rocked the Salt Lake Valley back in May of 2021. Chief investigative reporter Wendy Halloran is here tonight with a preview of this high-profile case. Wendy.
Well, Heidi and Mark, this case is among several cases the state is being sued for over failed parole supervision by adult probation and parole. The witness list is long. The trial expected to take 6 days. Shandon Scott, months before she would lose her life. Terrence Voss broke her leg so badly she had to have emergency surgery and posted it on Facebook. It's May 1st, 2021 on Interstate 80.
10-4, do they know if that suspect is still on scene?
Suspect right now. We've got him on camera. They're working on it.
Shandon Scott's bullet-riddled body is inside this car.
I'm on scene. I'll close it off.
But the UHP trooper trying to shut down the freeway doesn't know it yet.
She's running eastbound. We're near 30s.
And then she makes a shocking discovery.
This female has been shot multiple times.
Court records show Scott had been shot multiple times, but due to exit and re-entry patterns, the mother of 2 children had 43 bullet holes in her body. Witnesses saw Voss in the driver's seat and said he was, quote, freaking out, and then saw him get out of the car and throw something over a sound barrier wall of the freeway. He tried to steal a man's car. And when paramedics tried to perform CPR on Scott, Voss jumped off the freeway and ran away. This is video of him being captured later that night. Shandon Scott's mom from a previous interview.
The hard knock on the door.
Marjorie Scott is among the plaintiffs in a class action lawsuit against adult probation and parole alleging failed supervision of Voss that led to her daughter's murder.
The first words that came out of my mouth was, "Terrence did it."
An outpour of support for her family and her children.
Please keep her in your wings and make sure that everything is going to be all right. He sure deserves everything that he has coming to him. Everything.
Voss has pleaded not guilty. Judge Elizabeth Ruby Mills will preside. A long list of witnesses subpoenaed to testify when the trial begins after a jury is seated on Tuesday. And this is the defense witness list, which includes many of the law enforcement officers who worked the case. It shows Voss himself reserves the right to testify on his own behalf, should he decide to do so. Now, I will be in court next week for opening statements and will provide coverage of the state of Utah versus Terrence Voss. Wendy Halloran, KUTV 2 News.
Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. This is Talking Crime and my name is Shanira. Today we have a new story about a young lady named Shandon Scott, age 32. But before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and definitely subscribe to my channel. We would love to have you over here and I would love to hear your opinions. Today, we're going to talk about Shandon Scott. Now, Shandon was a loving, devoted mother and she had 2 children, a 15-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son. As Shandon family and friends describe her, she was the life of the party. She enjoyed life and she always had fun. Shandon enjoyed hiking, painting, and also being with her loved ones and her children especially. Now, Shandon went to Granite High School at the same time she was going to cosmetology school. She loved cosmetics and hair. You would catch Shandon doing family and friends' hair and clients' hair. I mean, it was just her gift and she enjoyed it. Shandon was very outgoing and loving, but unfortunately, things would take a huge turn for the worse when she started dating a guy named Terrence Vaughn. Now, Terrence was always in trouble. He stayed in so many different things. They also said that Terrence was a gang member and that Terrence also started at the age of 16 getting in trouble. Terrence would shoot on a highway. He would also get charged with various of crimes, and they were really serious to the point where Terrence wound up getting arrested and doing time. Eventually, Terrence would be able to get out, and not only that, he would be able to get out on parole and earlier than his release date. This is the story of Shannon Scott. Now, Shannon was definitely a family loving person, and she loved her some Terrence. Unfortunately, Terrence didn't love her the same. He was very angry, aggressive, and stuff was always happening when she was around Terrence. Terrence will also go as far as threatening Shannon, and unfortunately, his threats turned into reality. Now, Shannon, one point in time, would recall that Terrence broke her leg. Shannon stated that her and Terrence went out with other friends to get drinks, and Terrence accused her of looking at other guys. And the worst happened. Terrence beat her to the point where he broke her leg and hospitalized Shannon. She was shocked and unfortunately hurt at the same time. Her family and friends stated that they always would tell Shannon to leave Terrence. He was no good for her. I mean, it was obvious. He was in a gang and he definitely wasn't no good for her. Terrence was also on a leg monitor, so he was supposed to be checked on regularly, but he wasn't. Unfortunately, May 1st, Shannon and Terrence will get into another altercation. Now, let's keep in mind the other altercation where he broke Shannon's leg. Shannon's mother witnessed her leg being broken, and the police came, and Shannon's mother gave statements that Terrence did it to her daughter. So, this was not no secret that he was very violent to Shannon. Her mother even knew. So on May 1st, Shannon and Terrence will get into a bad altercation. It led to Terrence pulling out a firearm and shooting Shannon 12 times, killing her, placing her in the car. Witnesses said that they heard argument going on at the townhome around 2 something in the morning. And they heard someone pleading for help and begging for their life, and then gunshots. Now, Terrence, after shooting Shannon, he placed her in the car and drive off onto I-80, where he act like that the car was into an accident. When a witness pulled up to help Terrence, Terrence stated that him and his girlfriend had been shot by somebody else. Someone that they knew, a family friend. Now, the actual witness called police, and once police got there, they immediately started doing CPR on Shannon. While they was doing CPR, Terrence would be saw fleeing from the scene, trying to attempt to stealing the witness car, and he was not able to do so. So he ran on foot, tossing something over the bridge. Once police and stuff got there and start investigating, they found out that what he tossed over the bridge was an actual gun. And it was the actual gun that killed Shannon. Now, unfortunately, Shannon was shot 12 times, but once she went and they did an autopsy and everything, they determined that she had 43 bullet holes from where she was shot 12 times, and each bullet hole leaving and coming back into her body, piercing her lungs and heart. Shannon did not deserve this at all. And Terrence was still on the run, which caused detectives to go and search for him at his grandmother's house, at his mother's house, family and friends' house, to the point where they reached out to his parole officer, and his parole officer stated that Terrence's leg monitor was not working, so they couldn't determine where he was. and it was no telling how long his leg monitor had been off. And he had violated parole back in February. So they had been looking for Terrence. And unfortunately, they were not able to find him, causing this incident, May 1st, to happen to Shandon. They also stated that days before, Terrence had threatened Shandon to take her life. Now keep in mind, back in 2006 is when Terrence first started getting into trouble. He was also 16 and getting into so much stuff. But everybody knows when domestic violence situations like this, people tend to go back, tend to want to see the good in people. But Terrence was beyond bad.
I love you. I love you, Shandon, and I'm so sorry that you had to go through this. But we all love you.
Oh, just heartbreaking tonight. Now these candles are glowing for Shandon Nicole Scott as her loved ones say goodbye. Police suspect Scott was killed by her boyfriend in Mill Creek and then left dead in a car on I-80 as he fled the scene.
Fox 13's Sydney Glenn joining us live tonight near the vigil at Fitz Park, where she spoke with those who loved Shandon Nicole Scott. Sydney.
Brian and Amy, that vigil is still going on right back here with the park. Of course, for privacy reasons, we're giving them some space here, but family and friends just say they are heartbroken about what happened to their dear friend.
Angry. I'm so enraged.
It's a goodbye no one was prepared for.
Always laughing. Just such a good spirit.
Shandon Nicole Scott's life was stolen from her.
I don't know. It's just horrible.
And the people who loved her.
She was so loved and so cared about.
As Heather Redford prepares for a vigil for her best friend.
It's my soul sister.
She's having a hard time thinking about what police say happened.
And the way that she was left, like she was nothing on the side of the freeway.
Scott's boyfriend is suspected of being the one who pulled the trigger.
He sure deserves everything that he has coming to him. Everything.
Redford hopes he sees this from a prison cell.
You took that woman away from all of us. A mother, a daughter, a sister, a best friend. Like, you took her away from all of us.
Now, as those who love her light candles and release balloons to say goodbye, they hope her legacy will live on.
I love you, Shandon, and I'm so sorry that you had to go through this.
Shandon is a single mother of 2 young children, doing it all on her own. Her family has set up a GoFundMe page to help her children. We have more information on that over on our website, fox13now.com. Live in South Salt Lake, Sydney Glenn, Fox 13 News, Utah.
He was sinister, evil. Unfortunately, Shannon lost her life in the process because she cared about somebody that couldn't handle their own anger issues, their own emotions, taking the life of a mother of 2. You guys, Shannon family even went and participated in a lawsuit against the parole officer, the company, because they did not do their job of keeping tabs on none of the parolees. So yes, it's a lawsuit out against the actual company for not doing their job. Unfortunately, this is not to say that that could have definitely been prevented, because he was still able to get out early due to COVID-19, and he was still able to be on the streets. So even if they were keeping tabs on him, this was not predictable. Like, he could have did it at home even if he was doing what he was supposed to do. But like we all see, a lot of times they don't. And the justice system definitely failed each and every person that now has to deal with the loss of losing Shannon, her children, her family, and friends. Even her best friend spoke out and stated 2 hours before the incident, she was just with Shannon. This is a prime example of how life is definitely too short for anybody. So you guys, we're going to keep, like we do on this channel all the time, Shannon's family and friends, but most importantly, her children in our prayers. Now, Terrence, after almost 3 years, is now facing trial. So we're not quite sure what the punishment is, but we know all the charges will lead to a lot of time and hopefully life, because Shannon deserved that justice. She heard it. She was in pain her last days of her life. She was heartbroken, but sadly, her kids had to deal with the tragic event that Terrence decided to do, all because he was angry. Hopefully in jail, they will seek him anger management help. He even attacked an inmate before. Like, how could these type of people be on the street, that even though they're off the street, they're still committing crimes? You guys, I appreciate you listening to this story. Don't forget to like, comment, and definitely subscribe to this channel. Join the Talk and Crime family. Let's keep Shandon Scott's family in our prayers. Peace.